When Holden shut down in Australia, the Walkinshaw group thought they were done. Their entire business model revolved around the iconic brand. But in a lesson to all who might one day need to pivot, remember that real buzzword we embraced during COVID, they've now experienced previously unthinkable growth. And according to CEO Erin Walkinshaw, this is just the beginning. And he joins me now. So great to see you. I saw something that you put up about the number of staff that you'd just taken on and the number of cars you were producing. And the last headlines I remembered was all manufacturing leaving Australia. And it made me want to talk to you and find out what you're doing and how you're succeeding.
Yeah.
So how did you survive, first of all, the shutting down of Holden?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we got a call very, very close to the actual press release from Holden, letting them know that we were, shutting down. And the call finished was essentially with we have to go and start looking at what we will need to do as a business because that business will disappear. So we had the option of closing down, or we had the option of going and reinvesting what we'd accrued throughout the last couple of years of working with Holden, and trying to pivot the business and grow it. And I was quite young and quite confident in myself and confident in the team of people that we had around us. And I sensed some opportunities, so we reinvested and doubled down. Which probably at the time was a bit stupid, but in hindsight was one of the best decisions we ever made.
You mentioned that you're young. You're still very young. You took over the family business at, what, 23?
23, yeah.
Were you completely in over your head at that stage?
I was so young and naive, I probably didn't realise how over my head I was actually in. Yeah. Fortunately I had some good people around us, and I've always believed in the team that we have with us over at Walkinshaw, and always believed that I could succeed and wanted to look after my family and build upon my dad's legacy. So those are pretty good motivators.
Tell me about what kind of growth you've had in cars and in the amount of people, Australians, locals, that you're employing.
Yeah, I mean, we're really proud. We're quite humble as a business. We don't talk about ourselves as much as we probably should do.
Sorry about that.
But really proud of what we achieved over the last few years. So when I started in 2011, we had 250 employees and 2 sites, and now we're proud to say we've got 1,400 employees as of today in 13 different sites. We used to have just one brand we were working with, Holden. Now we've got GMSV, which is what Holden turned into. We have Volkswagen, we have Toyota, and we have Atico, who they distribute the Ram trucks in Australia. So really, really good partnerships there, and more to come. Government,
what can they do to help you grow even more, even further? Are there hurdles in place?
Yeah, there's always challenges. The local government in Victoria have actually been really, really good. We've gone through a huge amount of growth in our volume. We've gone from producing 2,000 to 3,000 vehicles a year to this year we'll do 12,000 vehicles, which is huge growth from that perspective. And we've had some growing pains there, and we've had support from the local government to help us there. But one thing that we do have a challenge with is we want to go and move into electric vehicles and so on. And one challenge there is that these things are quite expensive. And when we do something like a left to right hand drive conversion on these things to allow them into the Australian market, adds an additional cost to the product. And that puts them into the luxury car tax category. It's about 33% of every single car above $85,000 will be taxed with LCT. And so what we want to have a conversation about is, this was a tax that was supposed to protect local manufacturing, and it's now actually acting as hurting our ability to grow, especially in a sector that's so important to so many of us, EV and more sustainable cars. So it's something that we would like to have a discussion with and try and move forward, because we're not asking for anything. We're just asking for barriers to be removed and to have some exemptions so that we can go and sell that to automotive brands that we work with, our partners, in order to bring more electric vehicles into Australia. So that's one example which would be quite helpful.
Yeah, I think you're the biggest operation doing this, right? There's a couple of
Correct.
other smaller kind of groups. I mean, we need to see more of it. I want to ask you the car racing, because that's the sexy part of what you do. Chaz Mostert and Nick Percat, your 2 high-profile drivers. I remember I was at Bathurst when Chaz won for the first time, and I remember talking to his dad on the hill. A couple of great guys. Do you make some of the cars that they compete against? How does that all work?
Yeah, so we race in supercars. We have done for over 30 years. Yeah. We used to be the iconic Holden racing team. Now we're Walkinshaw Andretti United, a partnership with myself, Zach Brown, who's the CEO of McLaren Formula One, and Michael Andretti is one of the biggest racing names in the US. Chaz, we produce the cars that they race in, and there's actually some big news we announced this year. We're moving from being a GM Holden team that we've been for nearly 30 years and now we're moving over to Ford next year, which is a big change for us. It feels worse and more unusual for me than anyone else. Trust me, it's taken a long time for me to get used to it, but really excited about the change. Ford have been fantastic so far. Big change for us and the team, but really excited about the future.
Yeah, I guess in a racing front and what you're doing in a business sense as well. Congratulations on all your success, and we can't wait to watch you grow, and hopefully the government work with you a little bit in some of those areas. Ryan Walkinshaw, thank you so much.
Cheers.
Okay.